Good morning and welcome to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston, President and CEO of the Roby family of companies. We are your, Trent, say it, hosts. There you go.
With the most.
Trent,
I'm so excited to be here.
Did you fall back an hour last night? Daylight savings time.
I fall back in a lot of areas often, and I guess I did. I might have lost an extra. I might have lost 2 hours.
You lost what? You're ahead of the curve, huh?
I am. Man, what a great show.
Tell us who we've got.
So
Trent.
today we have Marika and Rob from Mecca, allies on the west side of Charlotte, allies in the real estate industry, allies in the construction world. I'm going to call them the Mecca family of companies like we are. I know that isn't their proper name, but they're very similar, and we'll talk about that when we have Rob and Marika on. But I've been wanting to have Rob or his brother Andy on the show,
right,
Presley, for a while because, I mean, Andy and I met several years ago, and we started talking. We just hit it off. It's like, what? Generation? This type of business? You love the West Side, you love Gastonia, you love Belmont, whatever, yada, 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 yada. And it went from there.
Well, I mean, the cool thing, too, Trent, is we're going to really hone in on the Wilkinson Boulevard corridor. And I remember before I worked for the company, and you can tell me the exact year you bought that building, but there was a sign over one of the garage doors, and I remember it said, "Plans are," just AR with the Andrew Roby logo, "unfolding." And that really, to me, before I worked for the companies, that was a huge deal to see that. I mean, we were friends through David McGuire, and I knew of you and your business, but I didn't know that, I guess, the magnitude. And so really, the Roby family of companies, primarily Andrew Roby at that time, were one of the first people on Wilkinson Boulevard.
You didn't know we were really good at buying big, crappy buildings?
I did. Well, I know that now.
You said the other day that somebody was talking, and people love the architecture of our building.
Cool
and I'm
building.
very proud. We own 2 buildings on Moorhead, and they both are, in my opinion, arguably 2 of the coolest architectural buildings, and that's not by happen chance. But you were telling somebody about where our building's located, and I think they like our corridor and like our building. And he said, "Oh yeah, the building with all the broken windows."
Yeah, we how did those windows get broken anyways? Do you have any idea? I don't think there was any golf inside the back of the warehouse.
I didn't break the windows.
I didn't break the windows.
I think they were broken from the outside in. But that was years ago, because now the area, I think rocks might fly up occasionally because it's close to the road.
Right.
Very urban.
It is, and the area is doing great. I mean, we have some single-family homes coming in now, obviously multifamily stuff, and then you know, the Roby family companies bought a building that's right down the street from the one with the broken windows, on West Moorhead. So Trent, tell us a little bit about that. What made you decide to really purchase there?
It's the west side of Charlotte. I don't care if you're 2 feet off the pivot point at the square. As long as you're in that west 25% pie, we're good. I mean, and that's the truth, and that's what really and owed to my father. I mean, he wasn't really as vocal, and he definitely didn't have the mouthpiece that I have, for better and worse. But he lived and emulated that. He was proud of where he was from and proud of where his roots were, and that's where he built his house the year I was born. Him and Leroy, on the river on the west side of Charlotte, and that was his route every day was Wilkinson Boulevard.
Now, I remember you telling that story. It's been a couple months ago of your dad when he bought the piece of land in which your grandfather said to him about buying the land on the cliff.
He said, "My God, boy, I thought I raised somebody smarter than this." And he just, my dad of small words just said, "Okay, Dad, I got you. I thought I was going to bring you out here. I saved up, I bought this, and I thought you're going to be proud of me, and you give me that crap." But that's what dads are for. I will tell you, I told the story, maybe a year ago on the radio talking about this corridor. I remember I played baseball at Dilworth Little League, so we would practice over at Freedom Park. And the route that we took, we would cut through Sedgefield and then go down Remount Road and go all the way Remount Road, cross West Boulevard, and take a left on Wilkinson and head west. And my dad always stopped at the service distributor there at Old Steel Creek Road where the Burger King and Sumter's Pawn Shop is. Okay. And that was a gas station, service distributor, still a gas station. And that's where he'd get his gas. And I vividly remember on a regular occasion, my dad would negotiate to buy jewelry and such from these guys in the parking lot. And my dad wore no jewelry, ever. And it was fake jewelry. It was fake gold. I mean, I think it was already green. And
Wow.
my dad just loved the culture and the hustle. And I was so innocent and a kid. I would be sitting in the truck, and the guys would come up and open their jacket and say, "Hey, I got ho, hey, ho." And my dad would negotiate with him for
That's
5 or
awesome.
10 minutes, and I think he ended up giving him $1 or $5. My man was so tight. But if somebody was willing to be honest and walk up and look you in the eye and talk to you and have integrity, you earn a little something. And I think that's what I'm trying to do moving forward.
Did he hire any of those guys as salespeople for the Roby family?
Oh, I
companies?
think he might have hired them as laborers and stuff. It did about a week later, my granddad be like, "Well, suck eggnog. What you hire this guy? This guy's terrible." And he just smile and say,
Go back to the
yeah,
watch industry.
I picked him up down on Wilkinson.
What is it? What is that old grocery store? And I say the name wrong every time that you drove me
You
past
call it Park and Save.
I call
but
it
it's called
Park
Park
and
and Shop.
Park and Shop.
And
Yep.
I saw something. I saw a picture of a Park and Shop a while back in another town, and it was the same architecture of that building. It's pretty cool. Going out Wilkinson
It
on
is a
the
cool
right,
building. Yeah.
past the old service distributor gas, past the CVS, and it's owed to the cool architecture. I mean, you got. The Krispy Kreme is a cool building. I used to eat at the Town
Dairy
and Country,
Queen's yeah.
right beside. They tore it down right beside where Mecca is. They're gonna be on, and then Barbecue King and the fire station and stuff like that. But
Well, Trent, tee us up for the next segment.
well, we're excited to have Rob Presley and Marika Christie with us when we return. Stay tuned.
You're listening to At Home with Roby. We'll be right back.